Rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. That's a third of your life. It ain't but 24 hours in a day. You cannot be sleep 8 hours a day. You can't live in LA and wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. The stock market been open 2 hours. They already making decisions about your life and your ass was asleep. The Bible says, he who loves to sleep and the folding of hands, poverty will set upon you like a thief in the night.
Patience. Patience is a skill we must master. Patience is one of the most valuable skills a human being must master. And I'm working hard to master it, and I feel I'm getting there, so time will show.
Stop waiting for life to be easy. Stop hoping for somebody to save you. You don't need another person lying to you. Things don't all add up. Face some hard facts, and you could have an incredible life.
I said to my dad when I said, listen, by the time I'm 25 years old, I'm going to be a self-made millionaire. And he laughed at me. And
how old are you?
I'm 24 now, so yeah.
38 before I purchased my first car. 38. Come on, man. I lived in a car for 3 years. I had nothing, but I made a decision, man. I just started talking to God every day. I just started asking him for help, to hear me. If you call God and you ask him to hear you, he hears you. I'm just telling you, it's real. God is real, man. Don't let nobody fool you.
That might be it for me.
You hear that crowd reaction to that? They love you, man.
Man, I got a 4-year-old at home that misses me every time I go away like this. I don't know. Thank you, man.
The most successful people in the world are the ones who've had the most failures. J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter. Her first Harry Potter book was rejected 12 times before it was finally published. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He lost hundreds of games and missed thousands of shots during his career. But he once said, I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed.
You can't punish people for mistakes. You know, it's like you have to forgive people. And a big part of that, you know, is forgiving yourself. We don't forgive ourselves for stuff, and it makes it impossible for us to forgive other people.
I have no education. I ain't got a degree of any kind. What you see today is a boy that come out the bottom, who believed in him when it wasn't no sign of me getting over, who kept doing this thing that his mother taught him. She said, when it get dark for you and you can't find your way, and boy, I was lost. She said, don't forget to pray. Don't be ashamed to pray. And don't ever be too proud to pray, because prayer changes things. You have got to pray.
You. Yes, you. Today is your day. You got this. You're absolutely crushing it at everything you do, from your job to maintaining a social life to pursuing a passion project. You are killing it. Ignore anyone who tells you otherwise, because you...
Everybody that you fight is not your enemy, and everybody that helps you is not your friend. And that's what life taught.
You don't need college to learn stuff, okay? Everything is available basically for free. You can learn anything you want for free. It is not a question of learning. So I think colleges are basically for fun and to prove you can do your chores, but they're not for learning.
Keep going, always. There's been times, particularly early in my career, where it just feels like this is the end. But what I've come to find out is that no matter what happens, the storm eventually ends. And when the storm does end, you want to make sure that you're ready. And so I've really learned to put one foot in front of the other, good, bad, or indifferent, because eventually that storm...
The only thing that separates people is passion. And having the ability to focus on something, or to work on it, will allow you to work hard enough to be good enough at it. That's the Kobe Bryant run. He outworked those people. He's like, you know, black people in the league perform according to their paycheck. They ain't getting that money, let them do it.
Kobe was there every day.
Yeah, and that's what separates him and makes him special to us in a different way. Even
it doesn't get easier, bro. Growth is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying in the same place. Always remember that.
Are you afraid of dying?
No, not at all.
Do you think you go somewhere?
No. The one thing I can't understand, I can't grasp my mind around, I feel when you die, there's just nothing. It's like when you're asleep and you're not dreaming. But I can't imagine nothingness lasting forever.
That's what
That's the thing that I cannot get.
I can't grasp. To not exist forever.
Kids come home, they tell you they've crashed the car. What's the Marlon way of handling that?
First of all, are you okay? Second of all, please tell me it's your mama's car.
I earned 20 Bitcoins, then I spent 8.5 of them on a t-shirt, and I figured, oh, cool, this all actually works. And what really struck out at me was this idea that it actually is still possible for people to come together and create an entire new financial system. This seemed kind of very.
If I'm at a grocery store, if I give you 100, you give me change. Whoever's traveling with me, I give them all the change. If it's 20s, 10s, if it's $80 a change, I give it away. I don't want nothing except hundreds, because it's the law of attraction. I only want hundreds. That's the largest denomination bill. That's what I attract. So I attract hundreds, because I don't want nothing else. It's the law of attraction. If you start putting your singles away, you'll stop attracting singles.
You said you're in a mental institution. Is there anything you discovered there that's been helpful for your acting?
Yeah, empathy for my father, who was always the biggest villain in my life, you know, and I think if you can empathize with the biggest villain in your life and sort of scrape some of these shadows, and it makes you lighter, freer. I don't think I was leading with love, and my life has changed. You may or may not attest, but I feel like when you lead with lightness and love, you can get to the heavy easier, you know, it's much easier, it's much more accessible. Like anger and the rough shit is very easy, you know, it's the other stuff that feels quite difficult. You know, get an honest laugh is very hard.
Success is not how far you got. Because see, you're going to be disappointed all the time. Because somebody always further than you. So now you'll forever be disappointed. Success ain't how far you got. Success is how far you got from where you started. That's your success.
I get 8 hours of sleep. I prioritize it. I am very focused on it. And for me, I need 8 hours of sleep. I think better. I have more energy, my mood is better, all these things. And think about it, as a senior executive, you get paid to make a small number of high quality decisions. And they should just be as high quality as I can make them. Warren Buffett says he's good if he makes 3 good decisions a year.
Oh, okay. Rule number 1, always have fun. Rule number 2, listen to rule number 1.
I went to the car wash. I made $30 a day from 8 in the morning to 8 at night. So they basically let you know you gotta live off your tips. So you gotta really go hard. And so I used to let them know I'd do anything for you. I'll wash the car. If you leave me $20, I'll fill your tank up. If you left me with enough time, I'll put your cassettes in alphabetical order. I think that may be the small difference between the ones who really go get it and the ones who just talking.
And out that one life, you're only going to get out of it what you put into it. And never being okay with where you are, because after every level is another level, whether you realize it or not. And I always wanted to see what was past the thing that I got. I got here, but what's back there? I was never content with being
you're fired. Absolutely. No one can tell me that. And that's priceless to me.
But I'm here because
I don't care. You enjoy having a man be able to tell you fired. But you enjoy. Okay, let me ask you a question. So you're being selfish. Do you think your son enjoys you calling somebody else a boss? Don't you think your son would rather wake up with you and you could pick him up from school instead of having to do a 9 to 5? Don't you think? Yeah, all right, but don't you have to wake up at 4 in the morning? Don't you think your son would love if his name was up there, Dash, or whatever your last name is, instead of somebody else's? My pride is in my children. If that's not what you hustling for, you're selfish. You keep saying I'm worried about my kids. You worried about
a sign that you're going to end up in a great place when you give great detail to little things. Excellence doesn't start when the lights come on. Excellence doesn't start when the crowd gathers. Excellence doesn't come when everybody's watching. Excellence is nurtured in mediocrity. If you cannot manage the little things, you'll never be able to manage the big things. If the little things overwhelm you, if you complain and collapse about little things, you'll never be ready for the greater things that God is about to do.
You know someone's your friend. You can tell them bad news, and they'll listen. They won't tell you why, you're stupid and why that bad thing happened to you and how something worse happened to them once and, derail the whole conversation. You can actually tell them bad news and they'll listen. This is a weirder thing. You can tell them good news and they'll help you celebrate. And that's a really good way of deciding who you should have
Don't
around.
sleep 8 hours a day. That's a third of your life. It ain't but 24 hours in a day. You cannot be sleep 8 hours a day. The Bible says, he who loves to sleep and the folding of hands, poverty will set upon you like a thief in the night. I'm gonna ask you one question, I'm gonna go. How many of you in here know somebody who loves to sleep? Let me ask you something.
High-performance people fly like eagles. Eagles fly alone. Zuckerberg has no mates. Elon Musk has no mates. Steve Jobs had no mates. Bill Gates has no mates. And I can go on and on and on and on. They don't hang. They don't chill. They don't go to the Super Bowl. They don't go to the World Cup. They don't go to Wimbledon. All they do is work. I fall into that category.
4 hours in a day. 8 hours you sleep, and most people work a 9 to 5. So 8 hours you're working. Okay, so we had 16 hours. You got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we had 19. Take you an hour to get ready. So we had 20 hours. So you guys cannot spend 4 hours going talking about, oh, they lying. Oh, I like this photo. Oh, they faking. Sending photos to other people. Y'all got to get focused. I'm where I'm at because I'm focused. Tunnel vision. I'm focused on what I got to do. Y'all got to have a game plan.